I was just contemplating a comment, very nice comment that was left by a 23-year-old who has a brother and parents at home who is stuck in a very limited situation with very limited funds, not making a lot of money at a job, and wants to um, get into the preparedness group. For those of us who might be just starting out, this may contradict things I have said before, but I'm this is what I'm feeling at the moment, so I'm going to lay this out here. I have had a lot of opinions that I've stated in previous videos, obviously. Um, Once you supply your immediate needs, the immediate needs for, well, for you have to decide the time frame. I can't decide the time frame for you, but once you have solved your immediate needs, you have whether that's peanut butter, tuna fish, beef stew, hash, chunky type soup, um, soup mixes, canned fruits. Once you have, if you have children in the family, once you've taken care of the formula, the diapers, any other infant needs, toddler needs, you have their cereal that they're used to having, you have the baby food jars, whatever. Once you get the little kids taken care of and you get food on your shelf that your family will eat, somewhere in those beginning stages, it's my opinion, to make your dollars go the furthest that they can for the most amount of satisfaction, is that you start with things that are extremely cheap. I'm always talking about salt because I can still buy it for 40 cents a container at my Dollar General, unless they've put it up since I've been there last. But I bought a lot of it for 40 cents, definitely under $1 for a canister of it. So for if you can buy 10 of those for $4, you pretty much have covered all the salt you're going to need for a while for $4. You're going to need a lot of salt for baking if you're going to do baking. I do recommend having baking supplies because there's so much versatility. You can make zillions of different things once you have the basic baking supplies down, which would be, you know, uh, sugar, salt, flour, baking powder, baking soda, yeast. Sugar, salt, flour, baking powder, baking soda, yeast, and then things like flavorings and spices. And I'm missing something there. It'll come to me. At any rate, once you get once you get your basic immediate needs taken care of and the kids are taken care of, my next suggestion would be spend the $4 or $8 or whatever on salt. You can buy a pound of yeast in a brick package, vacuum packed, for about $3.50 to $5 in that range. Keep it in your freezer as long as you have electricity. Keep it in your freezer, and go to the Great Depression video 5 and get the instructions for the no-fail French bread, or try any bread recipe that you want, but this one you can't screw it up. It makes really great bread, even with relatively cheap flour. The better flour makes better bread, from my experience. It's a great recipe. You don't want to keep it around. You only want to, I would freeze half the dough so that you don't bake more than you're going to use at one time, because it doesn't keep for very long. It dries out very quickly. But back to my point here. Get the kids taken care of. Get your day-to-day needs taken care of. You can buy a 25-pound sack of flour. The last time I checked, it was still under $10. It was right around 8 at the warehouse clubs, or you buy 5-pound sacks of flour, whatever you want. But get yourself some flour, and you can make, with a 25-pound sack of flour and salt and yeast and not a whole lot of sugar. There's only 5 tablespoons of sugar in 2 loaves of bread. You can have about 25 loaves of French bread out of a 25-pound sack of flour. And fresh bread helps your other food stretch further. If you, especially if you give the family some samples of that fresh bread when it comes out of the oven before you give them their made food, and maybe with some canned fruit or whatever, it's going to stretch what you have further. So I'm sorry for being redundant, because I've said this in many videos before, but I just felt impressed today because I got this sweet note from a 23-year-old that was, you know, looking to help the family to get started with limited funds. So If you take $10 worth of flour, $4 worth of yeast, 40 cents worth of salt. Let's just start with the 40 cents worth of salt. So $10 for the bread, for the flour, $4 for the yeast, 40 cents for the salt, and let's just say you buy a 4 or 5 pound bag of sugar for under $3, hopefully. Hopefully it's still under $3. For under $20, well under $20, you can have 25 loaves of bread, or you can make pancakes, or you can make cinnamon rolls, or lots of other things you could do with that. You could make, with a little bit of oil, you could make the raised glaze donut recipe under the video that's 86 donuts and 86 holes. I'm trying to cover all the bases here. I know that pushing 300 videos now is a lot of videos, but and I could stand to listen to some of my own preaching in some of these categories, but it's gonna, if the time of need arises and you have a 25-pound sack of flour, or 2 or 3 25-pound sacks of flour, or you get it in number 10 cans, or freeze it, or whatever you want to do to it, it's going to make a big difference. You have peanut butter, and you have all those other things. You can make peanut butter cookies. You add oatmeal. You got a lot of other things you can make besides. I could go on and on, but this is over 6 minutes, and I like to keep them under 3. So I'm going to end this here. But if you're just getting started, don't get discouraged. I guarantee you, if you take a $20 bill and you run out and you get yourself a 25-pound sack of flour, you may want to divide it into baggies and throw it in your freezer to make sure it doesn't get contaminated with bugs. But if you buy yourself a 25-pound sack of flour, a 1-pound package of yeast, which you're going to throw in your freezer to keep forever, 1 canister of salt, and 1 5-pound bag of sugar, you're going to feel different when you lay your head on your pillow tonight. Just knowing you have the ingredients to make 25 loaves of bread is going to make a difference for you. So if that's all you can do, then do that. That's my whole, now I'm over 7 minutes. That's my whole mantra over and over and over and over again. Make a list and check it twice, so you can have things that are yummy and nice. You can eat more than just beans and just rice, but also just do what you can do. Don't fret, don't worry, don't be afraid, don't get discouraged. Just do what you can do. Do what you can do and be happy with that for now. And that's my end of my video. For those of you who've heard me say that before, I really apologize. Have a great night and a great week. God bless your efforts to prepare. Bye.